What if the smartest person in the room was a 10-year-old kid no one wanted there? In a gleaming skyscraper where billionaires argued over numbers, a young black boy stood beside his father, a sewer worker covered in grease. When a system warning flashed red, the CEO laughed. Relax. That's nothing a janitor's son could understand. But seconds later, the ground trembled, and the boy whispered, "Sir, your whole grid is about to explode." As alarms screamed and egos collapsed, one question hung in the air: what happens when the truth comes from the last voice they'd ever listened to? The sound of sirens blends into the first shot of chaos in the control room. "Get that kid out of my building." Richard Kane's voice snapped across the glass lobby. The billionaire CEO of Northgrid Energy glared at a 10-year-old boy standing beside a sewer worker. "He's my son, sir," the man said quietly. "The city sent us about the coolant lines." Richard smirked. "I don't take advice from sewer people, or their kids." The boy, Jamal Rivers, looked up at the massive monitor behind him. "Core temp, 840 psi. Rising." "Sir," he whispered, "that number shouldn't move that fast." The CEO laughed. "Stick to drains, kid. Leave the science to grown-ups." By the time Jamal and his father reached the door, the floor trembled. A low hum grew beneath their feet. His father turned back, worried. "Something's wrong," Jamal murmured. "That pressure line, it's looping." The guard shoved them forward. "You heard the boss." "Out." Jamal's small notebook fell open across the marble floor. Pages of hand-drawn circuits scattered like leaves. One engineer bent down, frowning. "These formulas, they're correct." Then the alarms screamed. Red lights flooded the lobby. "System breach. Coolant overheat," someone yelled. Richard spun around, barking orders. "Shut it down. Manual override. Locked out," another voice shouted. The temperature number climbed, 860. 870. Jamal ran back toward the console. "Stop that kid," the guard shouted. But the head engineer raised a hand. "Wait, let him try." Jamal's fingers flew across the keys, tracing the same logic loops he'd sketched at home. "Your safety code repeats the same string," he said. "It's trapping the pressure instead of releasing it." Richard's face went pale as the numbers froze, then began to drop. 865. 840. 700, silence. Everyone stared. What did you just do?" the CEO stammered. Jamal looked up, calm. "Fixed your $2 billion mistake." For a moment, no one moved. Then Richard's voice turned cold again. "You expect me to believe a 10-year-old just saved a national grid?" His laugh was sharp. "You probably caused it. Security, get them out before someone thinks this was staged." The guards stepped forward, but the lead engineer spoke. "Sir, he's right. His patch isolated the fault. Without it, we would have lost the entire coolant chamber." Richard snapped, "So you're taking orders from a sewer kid now?" Jamal's father tried to speak, but Richard cut him off. "You brought your son here to beg for attention. You people always want a miracle instead of a job." Jamal's lip trembled, he looked down at the floor. A drop of oil from his father's glove stained his notebook, a small black mark spreading across the formula. Then a voice came from behind. "Mr. Kane," said a woman in a navy suit, stepping into view, "the Department of Energy's online feed is showing that your entire plant just stabilized, under an ID login traced to this child." The room froze again. Jamal looked up, confused. "Your system auto-uploaded my patch," he said softly. "It's verifying it nationwide." The agent turned to Richard. "You should know, the president's office just called. They want to meet whoever saved $2 billion in infrastructure damage." Richard's face drained of color. The boardroom filled within minutes, screens flashing live coverage from every network. The headline read, 10-year-old stops $2 billion disaster. Richard Kane stood rigid, sweat forming along his collar. Federal officials entered with the Secretary of Energy, cameras rolling. "Mr. Kane," she said evenly, "your company's security logs confirm that this child's patch prevented a nationwide blackout. We're transferring control to federal supervision pending investigation." Richard tried to recover. "He's just a boy, he couldn't possibly understand the complexity of." "Actually," she interrupted, "his code corrected a recursive fault that your own engineers designed. His work will be studied at MIT." She turned to Jamal. "Son, how did you know what to do?" Jamal hesitated, then pointed at his father. "He taught me to fix what people throw away. I just fixed something bigger this time." The room fell quiet. Reporters leaned in. Richard opened his mouth again, but nothing came out. The sound of cameras clicking filled the silence. Later, outside the building, Jamal's father knelt beside him. "You did good, son." Jamal looked up at the skyline, the glass towers reflecting sunlight off the repaired grid. "I just wanted them to listen." The next day, headlines read, "Boy from the sewers saves the city." And beneath it, a quote from Jamal, "It doesn't matter where you come from, only what you build."